everyone. Welcome to Ridgetop Yoga Retreat. We are on our 12th day of Mindful March, and we hope you've been enjoying the classes. Today will be a half-hour class, and most of it will be standing. We're going to work on our classical sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. Last week, Frank worked on sun salutations for last Friday's class, so we thought it'd be appropriate to continue and work on the classical sun salutations today. I'm outside today, so hopefully the rain holds off. It is a half-hour class, and sun salutations, they're a perfect way to start the beginning of your practice, because it works every part of your body, and it really warms up your body for other asanas in the classes during the class. So if you only have a short time, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if you do 3 rounds of the sun salutations, it really gets your body warmed up and prepared for the rest of the day. So we'll just get started in Tadasana, in mountain pose. So this pose, ground through the 4 corners of your feet, your weight's evenly distributed on both feet. Your palms are facing forward, and your shoulder blades, just roll them up and back, really trying to bring those shoulder blades back. And this really, it helps you with balance. It roots you through the soles of your feet, and then you're reaching out through the crown of your head, so you're lengthening your spine here. And we're just going to do a few warm-ups before we get into the sun salutations to get a little bit of movement in our neck. So we'll get started in a couple minutes, but if you want to just begin to calm your mind in mountain pose in Tadasana, and let go of any thoughts that come into your mind, and just bring your focus to your breath and begin to focus inward, taking deep breaths in and out through your nose. You can have a slight bow to your head, bringing your chin to your chest, and your eyes can be opened or closed. Here. And your feet are about hip width apart when you're standing in Tadasana. Really try to lengthen your breath on each inhale and exhale. Remember, this is your practice, so do what feels right for you. Each day is different. And if a pose doesn't feel right, just come out of the pose and wait for the next one. And we'll take a deep inhale, reach your arms up overhead, really lengthening the spine. Palms facing each other. Engaging your core here, and then turn your palms facing out and exhale, slowly release back down to the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead for a full body stretch here, really pressing through the soles of your feet, and turn your palms facing out and exhale, slowly release back down to the mat. And one more deep inhale, reach your arms up overhead. You can take your gaze up for a slight back bend. And then exhale, hands heart center. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice today, you can do that now. reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, slowly release your arms back by your side. And now we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Make sure you have a straight back. And inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, pointer fingers facing up towards the sky. And on the exhale, just slowly lean towards your left, shifting that right hip towards the right. So you're leaning towards the left for crescent moon. Feeling the stretch in the right side of the body. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over each other. We'll take a few deep breaths here. You'll feel this in the hip. Then inhale back up to center and exhale right. Shifting the hip towards the left, making sure you're flat back as if you're against the wall. Making sure your feet are together. If it's uncomfortable to balance that way, you can have a slight open your feet slightly, a little wider stance. Then inhale back up to center and exhale left. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhale back up to center and exhale right. Inhale back to center and exhale. Slowly release your hands back down by your side. And you can go back into your regular stance for Tadasana. And we're just going to inhale and draw a line with our nose up towards the sky. And then exhale, slowly bring your chin to chest. It's a gentle movement. You'll feel the stretch up the back of the neck. Match your breath to your movement, inhaling on the way up. And exhale, forward and down. Inhale. And exhale. And the next time your chin's at your chest, leave it there. Feeling the stretch up the back of the neck. And then inhale and gently roll your left ear towards left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. Match your breath to your movement, inhaling and exhaling. And the next time your chin's at your chest, leave it there. And we're going to inhale our right ear towards right shoulder and exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder, and exhale, chin to chest. Matching your breath to your movement. And then on your next inhale, make a complete circle, inhaling on the way up and exhaling forward and down. Being careful of the back of your neck. If this is uncomfortable, you can bring your chin to your chest and just focus on your breathing there, feeling the stretch up the back of your neck. And then we'll do 2 rounds in the opposite direction. And then we'll meet back in neutral spine. And now we're going to go into the classical sun salutations. And with those sun salutations, the difference is it's 1 breath for each movement. So in the first round, in the beginning, we're going to take it slow. So we're going to do a few breaths with each pose. and then we'll do another round doing one breath for each movement. But at any time, if something doesn't feel right, just stop and take a break and then wait for the next pose. We will be going into low lunge a lot, so if you need a blanket for your back knee, you might want to get that now. And we'll come to the front of our mat, and we're going to start off in Tadasana in mountain pose. So really feel rooted through the soles of your feet, and lengthen the spine, extending the spine up towards the sky, palms forward, and your gaze is forward, it's straight ahead. And we'll start, take a deep inhale, reach your arms up overhead, lengthening the spine, reaching out through your fingertips, grounding down through the soles of your feet. And then exhale, turn your palms out, and we're going to forward fold. This is a calming pose, forward folding. It's extending the low back. We're going to take a few deep breaths here. It's your first forward fold, so you can have a slight bend in your knees. And then we're just going to slowly inhale and come back up. And exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, release. When you're going into a forward fold, that's really a calming pose. So if you add forward folds to your practice, it is lengthening your back, and it's really helping release tension in your back. You can have a slight bend in your knees to get deeper into the fold. So we'll begin now. Inhale, reach up, arms overhead. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Now inhale to a half lift, flat back. And here you're really trying to lift your chest, open your heart, keep that flat back. Your arms are engaged here, and you're lengthening the spine, reaching out through the crown of the head. We'll take a few deep breaths here. And now on the exhale, we're going to plant our hands and step your right foot back. Drop your back knee, point your back toes, and bring your hands up to that left thigh. We're going to go into low lunge, so make sure your left knee is stacked over your right ankle. You can put a blanket on the back of that, under your back knee. Your back foot is pressing into the sole of the mat. And then when you're ready, with a deep inhale, bring your arms up overhead for low lunge. Make sure your shoulders are down, they're not up by your ears. Your hips are pressed forward for low lunge. We'll take a few deep breaths here. You're working your arms, your shoulders, your quads, your hip flexors. And now on the exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Plant your hands on the mat. Flip your back toes. Lift that back knee. And we're going to inhale to plank. So you're just going to bring that left foot to meet the right. And we're going to go into plank on the inhale. Now you can go into supported plank by bringing your knees to the mat and flipping your toes. Or on the inhale, hold plank. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Make sure your shoulders are over your wrist. Your legs are engaged. You're pressing the ball of your feet into the mat. Now on the exhale, drop your knees, flip your toes, and we're going to bring our chest and chin down between our hands for 8-point pose. Then on the inhale, straighten the legs, slide forward, and come up for cobra. Make sure you don't pinch your low back. Your chest is forward, your gaze is forward. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Your hands are pressed firmly on the mat. You're lengthening the front of your body, and you're pointing through your toes. Now exhale back down to the mat. Flip your toes, and on the inhale, press into the mat and push back to downward facing dog. It's our first downward facing dog, so we'll take a few deep breaths here. You can have a slight bending your knees. You can pedal out your feet. Maybe go high on your toes. Lift those hips high. And then sink your heels down. You're pressing your chest towards your thighs. Take a few deep breaths here. Now we're going to take that right foot and bring it forward between our hands. You can walk it or step it between your hands. It may be easier for you to inhale that right foot up and back for three-legged dog, then bend your knee, shift your weight forward, and plant that right foot between your hands. We're going to come back down to low lunge again, so you're going to drop the back knee, flip your back toes, bring your hands to that right thigh, and then inhale your arms back up overhead for low lunge. Your hips are forward, that knee is slightly back. You might need a blanket under it. And just take a few deep breaths here in low lunge. Now we're going to drop our hands and frame that front foot on the exhale. Flip your back toes, lift that back knee. And you can either hop that back foot or walk your back foot forward to halfway lift. We're going to inhale to halfway lift, so bring that left foot to meet the right and come up to flat back halfway lift. Make sure your shoulders are back and you're lifting your heart. Flat back here. Few deep breaths. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly come up, hands overhead. And exhale, hands heart center, pressing the palms into each other. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release. Now we'll do this other side a little bit quicker. We're going to do the left leg. Start with the left leg. So make sure you're grounding through your soles of your feet. We'll start in Tadasana. Your gaze is forward. Inhale, reach up, arms overhead. Lengthen the spine. You're engaged from your feet all the way to your fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands. Step that left foot back. Drop the back knee, point your back toes. Bring your hands to the right thigh, and then inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Hips are pressed forward for high lunge or low lunge. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Flip the back toes, lift your back knee, and inhale that right foot back for plank. Engage your core. You're working your arms, your shoulders, your core, your legs here. You can do modified plank by coming to your knees. Then exhale your knees, flip your toes, and bring your chest and chin down between your hands for 8-point pose. Hips are high. Then inhale to cobra, straightening the legs, pointing your toes, shoulder blades back and down, pressing your palms of your hands into the mat. Exhale back down to the mat, flip your toes, and push back to downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhale that left foot, you can inhale it up, bring it between the hands, and exhale that back knee down, flip your back toes, and inhale, bring your arms up for low lunge. Take a few deep breaths here. Then exhale, plant your hands, flip your back toes, lift that back knee, and we're going to inhale forward to a halfway lift. So you can either hop that back foot or step that back foot to meet your left, and inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, slowly come up, hands overhead, and exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, release. We're going to take a few deep breaths in Tadasana in mountain pose, and then we'll do another round of the sun salutations, classical sun salutations. The normal breath is, your natural breath is how long you hold the pose. It's until you have to take another breath. Normally for poses you would count for 3 breaths. Sometimes if you want to hold it for longer, it's a 5-breath count. But this is your natural breath, your inhale and exhale. So you're matching your movement to your breath. Because we're just starting this, I went a little slower and we did more breaths in between. So this next round we'll work on one movement for one breath. So we'll just take a few deep breaths in Tadasana and then we'll get started. And if my breath is quicker than your breath, just go at your own pace. This is your practice. So we'll come to the front of our mat and we'll inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back, shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, plant your hands, step the right foot back. Drop your back knee, point your toes, bring your hands up to that left thigh, hips forward. Inhale, raise your hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your palms back down to the mat. Flip your back toes, inhale, plank. Exhale, drop your knees, point your toes, bring your chest and chin down between your hands. Inhale, slide forward, straighten your legs for cobra. Exhale, back down to the mat. Flip your toes, inhale back to downward facing dog. Bring your right leg up and back. Inhale that right foot forward, drop your back knee, flip your back toes. Inhale the arms up for low lunge. Exhale, plant your hands, flip your toes, lift that back knee. Inhale, up to half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly come up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, release. Other side, inhale, reach up, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back, drop your back knee, flip your back toes, bring your hands up to that right knee. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale your hands back down to the mat, flip your back toes, lift your back knee, and bring that right foot back for a plank on the inhale. Exhale, drop your knees, flip your toes, bring your chest and chin down between your hands. Inhale, come up for cobra. Exhale, come back down to the mat, flip your toes, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step that left foot forward, drop your back knee, flip your toes, and inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, plant your hands, flip your back toes, lift your back knee, and inhale up to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly come up, hands overhead. And exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release. We'll take a few deep breaths in Tadasana and mountain pose. And the sun salutations, they really get the whole body warmed up, from the neck, the shoulders, the hips, the arms, your legs. So like I said, if you only have a couple minutes, if you do a couple rounds of these sun salutations, it really will warm up your body, and you can start. It's a great way to begin your day. So we'll take a few deep breaths here. And we're just going to go into a wide-legged stance to go into Malasana, to squat pose. So bring your hands to heart center. You can have your toes facing out so your knees, not to jeopardize your knees. Your palms are pressed firmly together. Take a deep inhale. Maybe take your gaze up a bit. And then on the exhale, just begin to bend your knees into garland, into squat pose. Now you're really engaging your thighs here. And whenever your heels come up off the mat, stop there, because you don't want to be up on your toes for squat pose. Feel it in the hips. And this is a great pose to work for your root chakra. And that's the first chakra, is the root chakra. And take a few deep breaths here. And then we'll come down to the mat. And we're just going to come down to laying position. Slowly come down onto the mat. Hug your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Maybe making circles with your knees, massaging your low back. And now, because we're always going forward and forward folding, we're just going to go into bridge pose to help the spine in the other direction. Plant your feet firmly on the mat, hip distance apart, palms facing flat on the mat. Tuck your shoulder blades under. And we're just going to inhale and begin to lift your hips up towards the sky, pressing the palms of your hands into the mat, squeezing your glutes, keeping your knees forward, making sure they don't fall out to the sides of the mat. You can hold a block between your knees if you need be. Really lifting those hips high. When you get up there, maybe walk your feet in a bit. Tuck your shoulder blades under. Go up on your toes. You can take a bind behind your back, interlacing your fingers. And then release your hands, come back to the soles of your feet, and slowly lower back down to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. And then just extend your arms out to the sides. Take a deep inhale in and slowly roll on to your right side, your right hip, keeping your shoulder blades flat on the mat, and take your gaze over your left fingers. And inhale back up to center, and slowly exhale your knees to the left, rolling on to that left hip, taking your gaze over your right fingertips. Then come back up to center. Hug your knees into your chest and just extend your feet up towards the sky for legs up the wall. Your palms are firmly placed on the mat. You can point and flex your feet, working the calves. And then bend your knees towards your chest, keeping the soles of your feet towards the sky. Hold the outsides of your feet, your elbows on the insides of your legs, or you can hold your big toes and rock from side to side for happy baby. And then hug your knees into your chest and extend your legs long out on the mat. Let your feet fall out to the corners of the mat. Palms facing up away from your body. Shoulder blades tucked under. And we'll get ready for Shavasana. So gently close your eyes. Relax your forehead. And remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And take deep inhales and exhales, feeling the belly rise and fall, relaxing the body. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and move your head from side to side. And when you're ready, roll on to your favorite side. And then with your eyes closed, come up to seated position, hands at heart center, thumbs at your sternum, slight bow to your head. Yoga isn't about where you've come from. It's about the direction you're going in. And yoga is a journey. And thank you for sharing your journey with me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining in the class today. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any questions about the sun salutations, the classical sun salutations, just send us a message and we'll get right back to you. Have a great day. Namaste.